And on guys, welcome back to another video, and today we'll be going over a mini lesson on technical analysis. So technical analysis, as you know, it's the studying of charts, for example, past resistance, previous resistance, support areas, buy zones, and all this channels. Okay, um, so to get started, we have Tesla stock for our example today, and we're going to be looking at the last 2 months on Tesla. Okay, so this red line is a technical level. It's Tesla once pushed up, got rejected, pushed up, created a resistance zone. As you can see, if I get closer to this chart, to this line right here, you can see every time this stock tried to push over, it closed lower. It tried to push up, it closed lower. It closed high, and then it opened up high and closed lower. It pushed up, it got rejected. It tried to push above, it got rejected. Um, it also had another rejection candle. It tried to open up high and completely got rejected. So now this is my technical level, and this line represents that it had trouble pretty much. It had a resistance uh and trouble going to the upside. So now what this technical level tells me that there is a lot of sellers in this area, and that since it's had a lot of trouble going to the upside, it eventually pushed down. So now it did have a long wick right here, and the high of this wick was another technical line. So we got this this we got this line, moved it to the right side, and as you can see, it created a cup and handle formation. So it created a rejection, a cup. It got rejected by the same resistance. It bounced, and then it continued to the upside. So as you can see closer on our red line we had up here, that the stock was having trouble getting over. Once it did get over, it pushed higher, it got rejected, and then it tried to push on lower, and it had a continuation to the upside. So this tells us that buyers are in control. Buyer pushed up, it touched previous resistance, got rejected, cupped. It had like a cup, and had a continuation to the upside. It broke out, consolidated, and had a continuation of the move. So now here is another example. Tesla, this is where the previous resistance comes into play. So previous resistance is like you trying to get over, trying to touch the ceiling. Every time you touch the ceiling, you get pushed down, or when you try to hit your hands against the ceiling, you can't really penetrate it. So this Tesla stock ended up trending up for a while. It came back to its previous resistance area, as you can see, and got a rejection. It rejected once, it rejected twice. It tried to break the floor. This is the floor now. The ceiling. It's like it's like you're trying to hit the ceiling. You're trying to hit the ceiling. So you get pushed down. You get pushed down. You end up breaking the ceiling, and then now you're on the next. Now you're on the next level, and now it's like instead of being on story 1, now you're on story 2, and the ceiling below you is now acting as your floor. So this has now become a resistance area, has become a support area. It's higher than it was before. So it had one rejection, two rejections, three rejections. So I created my resistance area, my new resistance area. This got rejected once, twice, three, four, five, and ended up breaking out. So now I have a red area as it was a previous resistance, and now it became a support. So we have red right here as a sell zone, green as a buy zone because it's a new resistance, and it continued to the upside. So like what happened over here, its previous resistance area became a buy area, and then it continued to the upside. So that's Tesla stock right there. Quick technical analysis on 180-day chart. But now if you're intraday trading this chart, we can go to 5-minute candles, and I also had some technical levels here. So now we can see Wednesday, as you can see Wednesday, um, it had a push up in the morning. It broke out of its pre-market resistance, had a push up. Resistance was acting as a support. It bounced. It continued to trend down. And then we drew a line like this because it was creating higher lows. In a short while, it was creating higher highs. We got our technical level as pre-market resistance, the floor, I mean, the ceiling, and then the ceiling, once it got broken out of, created its resistance. It got rejected by the ceiling and now became floor, and then we ended up buying on this breakout and riding it up to the top. So now that's also another technical example. This is what we call a bull flag because it's creating a series of higher lows and it's continuing to the upside, breaking out of new highs. Now if we see this on 180-day chart, you will see how it looks. It is right here after its cup created its resistance, it pulled back, created a higher support, which was bullish, tried pushing down, got bought right up, and then ended up breaking out to the upside. So this was our trend, and it ended up breaking out over here. It also had another one over here, created resistance. It broke down from its its support line, and that was an indication of a short. It broke out of its resistance line, its ceiling, and it went up. So that's pretty simple technical analysis using support and resistance areas, buy and sell zones. And now maybe we can look up another stock. All right, so okay, so now we got Roku. We drew a resistance area, uh, area it had trouble breaking out over. We drew another resistance area that it had trouble breaking out over, but now it's a lower low, I mean a lower high, a new resistance area. It pushed down, created found its support at previous floors. You see, previous floors, previous floor, previous floor. It does not have to be perfect, but it has to be in a range. So it has to be in a like in an area of buy or sell zone. So it ended up getting rejected by this area, pushed up, created its wedge. It broke out, so that was the buy indicator. It did not break down. It broke out, and it continued to the upside. It got rejected, or almost rejected, by its previous ceiling, so it still had trouble breaking over its ceiling, so it ended up pulling down, and this was a reason to go short. It found a new higher low, created an area of consolidation. It broke out, you see, so it creates its resistance. It has an area of support, and once it breaks out of its previous a lower previous resistance, you can buy here or you can buy here. This is, I think, more safer because you're risking less and you have more potential to the upside. It also did it another time. It created its resistance. It had its support area. It broke out of its ceiling area and it had a continuation. Broke out of its ceiling area, had a continuation, and that's another 3 examples. So now its previous ceiling that it had trouble over and created a new low, a higher low. So it pulled down, created a higher low because it's now trending up. Ended up breaking its previous ceiling, pushed up, created a resistance, pulled back to its ceiling, and now it's acting as a floor because it tried to push down, got rejected, tried to push down, got rejected, push down, got rejected, and it was in a flag area. It broke under the flag area and now it became a sell. And as of now, it is trending down. Well, we would like to see a lower low, but anyway the stock goes, we're gonna take it from there. And just not try to create too much of a bias on the stock. Now I could maybe find Apple. Okay, Apple, because this is much more basic chart. Okay, so Apple pushed up, created a resistance area, created a support area as you can see. So I had trouble getting under, had trouble breaking the floor, broke the floor once but closed above, pushed over its ceiling, pushed over its ceiling, and it had a continuation of its move to the upside. So that's another example of Apple. So this is basic. This whole lecture was about, this whole mini lesson was about support levels and resistance levels, and that's it. That's how basic it is. Like this stock, like Apple right here, you can draw a line right here. You saw that it's been trending up. It has its basic resistance area, basic support area. It broke out of its support area and it had a huge push up. Also Apple had a support area, ended up breaking down from it, and then so it was a bearish move. It had trouble getting under this support area, this area right here, and ended up flagging, creating lower highs. Couldn't break to the downside, so it broke out, created a higher low, broke out, and kept having a continuation of its move. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. This is basic support and resistance area technical analysis. So I hope you guys learned something from this. I hope you guys found this helpful.